Great Debaters Contest is brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.
I am Austin Nyombok.
And I am Mariam Bishar. Today we have the lovely ladies of Gikumene girls and Mikinduri girls debating on whether performance-enhancing drugs should be made legal for athletes. Let's leave the debate gurus to do their job. Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes.
Tumeshinda kikombe. Tumeshinda kikombe. Is that not happy to sing these likes of songs when winning a medal? A gold medal, without strain, without pain. I'm here to propose the motion that the use of performance-enhancing drugs in professional sports should be legalized. First of all, what is a drug? A drug is anything that we take or inject in order to alter the normal functioning of the body. And what is a performance-enhancing drug? It's a substance taken to improve the working of the body or the activeness of the body. What is a sport actually? A sport is an activity that we do for pleasure. This sport needs special physical and mental training. This sport is done under some fixed rules. But you can do this in another way. Imagine of having that self-acceptance. Imagine of having that feeling that you can do all the best without strain, without practicing, just going there, showing what you have, without taking time, without wasting time. That's a big chance. A big time without using your strength, mentally or physically. Okay, money. The Swahili say pesa ni sabuni ya roho, meaning money is the most desirable thing in a man's heart. Money is everything that anybody in this world likes to have. Even you seated there do love money. But just think of this, having billions and millions of money in your account, winning gold medals, gold, the most treasurable metal in the world, in your house. Just think of that. Is that not living in a dream? Is that not living in a fairy tale? Is that not having an opportunity? Is that not the pride of a patriotic Kenyan? Hearing the national anthem of our country being sung in a foreign country just because we have won in an international event. It's proud to me and to you, patriotic citizens of Kenya. Branis Mugashia, Mikinduri girls, thank you.
Opposer number 1, you have 3 minutes for your opening statement.
First of all, I'd like to say that if you say money is everything, do you think you will really consider those local athletes in the marginalized areas who cannot afford to buy these steroids? They will still go to the same field, those with the steroids, who are with the concussions in their body, and those who cannot afford to buy them, they will still be in the same field. Do you think that is promoting fair competition? And then, if a drug is something that alters the normal body functioning, why should you take it whereas your body can function normally without it? Steroids enhance the production of testosterone. We know that your body can produce the testosterone without the enhancement drugs, don't we? On to my first point. PEDs are harmful and potentially fatal to the human health. Athletes who use them have been submitting themselves to serious heart failures and other diseases. We are in a world whereby we are trying to fight out these hazardous and avoidable diseases. We are submitting the other generations to this. Why should we do this? Why should we take the steroids? What for? After all, we know success is sweet when you know what you've passed through. You've gone through the hard work, you've gone through the hard training. Why should you take the steroids? You should at least achieve that success that you know that you got it from your hard work. We all know that steroids contain very harmful chemical supplements. You submit yourself and your generations to follow to a lot of health risk. For example, when you build those muscles, what does it benefit you with? The muscles? Do you consider the health risk? For example, a drug like Contestine. That drug is addictive. Will you be able, what if when you don't have the money to get the drug? Will you steal? Will you commit crime so as to acquire it? I don't agree with the legalization of these drugs. For example, an athlete like Trayson Gay, he was kicked out of the world of sports because of using steroids. This is because they submitted him to aggressive behaviors, and that is harmful. Also, not to him alone, it can also harm the opponents. This is making it a battlefield, no longer a competition. Risk and regrets are a sting to the soul. Yet, we know that success is a cream to the soul. But with success, you know you must pass through a lot. And we all say, just strain to gain, not to get it through the easy way. Thank you.
We'll now hear rebuttals, beginning with the proposers. You have 3 minutes.
Well, people talk of making a difference. Then I don't see why you should not make a difference by doing something extraordinary. Something like creating a new record which would have been impossible without using performance-enhancing drugs. I believe that they are of more use than they are of harm. Imagine if these drugs are made legal, they would create employment. Imagine of that person who is going to work in that company that is going to create those drugs. It is going to be easy for them, for the people who are in the country, for the youths who are crying daily, saying that they don't have jobs. It will make it easier for them to get jobs. I believe that it will create a good employment for the people. Then the economy of the country will rise because of these companies, simply because they will have to pay taxes to the government. Hence, their economy will have to rise. These performance-enhancing drugs are so important to the players because they give them the energy. Imagine a player coming to this country performing, they don't get exhausted. They go to another country, perform, they don't get exhausted. Imagine if they did not have these performance-enhancing drugs. I believe they would get exhausted in the first place. The first performance, they would get exhausted. That is obvious. Then it would create competition in the job market. When these industries develop, they will create that competition amongst the factories that exist. Hence, competition is good for businesses, right? They are good because they will help the people to be able to, the companies, to be able to compete against each other. Each company will want to win against the other. Hence, it will develop the job market in the society. Also, the creation of new records. New records will be created amongst the players, and it will be so easy for them to, as they perform, they will have the strength and the zeal to continue because they know that they are going to do something new. They are going to make a new record which would not have been possible were they not having these performance-enhancing drugs. Then my question is, what is more fair? The use of adhesive plaster on the nose so that you can increase the oxygen intake, or having to run in the morning each day so that you can get the energy? Or is it better to take just one pill in one go and then you have all this in one place in that drug? Think about it. Jacqueline Kawera, Mikinduri Girls.
Opposition, time for your rebuttal. You have 3 minutes.
When God created us, He gave us a duty of procreating. But look at this, steroids. These steroids that are used by the athletes, the sports people, cause infertility, like the sperm count in male. Both in female and male, it causes infertility. And apart from that, it also causes drug addiction. It's a drug. It causes addiction. And you all know what we mean by drug addiction. You get addicted. You can't do without it. You see, you cannot do without it. So it causes drug addiction. What is the point of competition? The point of competition is to get the best out of the best. And now if you're using the steroids, there will be no pride upheld in sports and sports people, as they will be just looked as druggies, hyped on mind, jacking steroids. Sports will lose its former glory. Like before, we used to compete. When the steroids were not introduced, we used to compete and we used to find the best out of the best. But now that they are introduced, where is the glory of the competition? It ceases. And lastly, it leads to contraction of HIV and AIDS and other diseases, because when you see these players and these athletes, when they are competing, and there's this team, when the team are competing and they're using these steroids, before they go for the match or anything of the sort, when they're using these needles, they end up using the needles, sharing the needles, and apart from even using the needles and spreading the HIV and AIDS, they also get aggressive. Like my friend had said, you get aggressive. When you use these drugs, you don't know yourself, you lose control, and you behave badly. So it leads to you getting other diseases apart from HIV and AIDS. Thank you. I'm Yasmin from Gikumene Girks.
Safaricom M-Pesa has done me so many miracles. Can you tell you one thing in my head? I feel so crazy, but I'm in the edge, and I can tell you Jesus Christ saved me and I feel okay. But Safaricom M-Pesa is the only way. Safaricom M-Pesa is the only way to go. Safaricom M-Pesa is the only way to go. Safaricom M-Pesa is the only way to go. Safaricom M-Pesa is the only way to go.
Take part in the M Challenge by sending your short song, rap or poem about Safaricom M-Pesa on WhatsApp, and you could win 1,000 shillings in Safaricom airtime.
The audience has posed questions to the two teams on stage. The proposers have been asked, if we allow performance-enhancing drugs, will competitions become about who is the better athlete or who uses better drugs? And the opposition have been asked to expound and explain more on the type of drugs that athletes use and their side effects. Proposal number 3, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I'm Lena McKenna from Mikinduri Girls. To answer your question, I will tell you that the sports are better. If the sports are not better, then why use the drug? We're only using the drug to enhance our performance in the sports. And let me tell you that if this drug is used by everybody in the competition will be equal. So it will only work to improve your performance and not create an unfair competition. Thank you to the opposers. They added to one of my points. They said that these drugs increase the muscle mass. Well, it's good that we have known that they increase the muscle mass. So to the boxers, it's an advantage. Okay, these drugs increase the morale of the competition. How? In the competition, when you're going to compete, you must either lose or win. It's like gambling. So in this competition, when you have these performance-enhancing drugs, they help you to be more confident. You have the morale, you have the psyche, you're sure of winning. And I bet that is good for everybody. That whenever you come, even as you come for this debate, you have a psyche, you have a morale, you know that you're going to win. You know, we talk of giving people opportunities. Then why don't give the sports people an opportunity to improve their performance? An opportunity to be the best. If we imagine of lying in a grave, yet people raise the flag halfway because you are dead. People talk about you even though you are dead. I know some people will not take it so great. Some people will not think that it's an advantage, but I do. Okay, these steroids, for example, the anabolic steroids, they reduce fatigue. Yeah, we say they reduce fatigue, tiredness. You cannot get tired that fast. So you're able to run long races, and at the end of it all, you're normal. You can attend to the rest of your works. You can go back home and go to a farm and dig very well. Well, these anaerobic steroids, steroids, leaving alone the anaerobic steroids, you don't need to spend much time in the gym. Like in full time, you're in the gym, you have no time to attend to your family, you have no time to attend to your girlfriend. It is good that you just take, you have a drug that you can use for, you take a pill and it can help you. So what do you people think? Don't you think that mtakacha mvuguni shalti iname? Don't you think that if you want anything you must go for it? Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
Thank you. The examples of steroids the example of the performance-enhancing drugs that are used in sports to enhance the ability of the athletes to perform better are aneroid steroids, erythropoietin, coentestine, and growth hormones, and so forth. First of all, I'd like to say, gold shines because it had to endure the pains of extraction, molding, and rigorous polishing. That is the goal that for us Kenyans that we uphold. What will using the performance enhancing drugs do to this spirit? It will completely murder it. Even as for the athletes who are in Kenya, we still go out there and prove ourselves according to our abilities. Do we use steroids? For taking the example of Luis Diego, he did, out of his ability and out of his hard work, he was able to break a record in an area where, for us Kenyans, we have never been able to take part in due to not being able to have that information. But when he broke that record, he really proved something great to us, that we can do it through our own abilities. First, I'd like to say, the use of steroids causes very great harms to the human body. So if we base our mindset on money, it will not bring us anywhere. For in your grave, she has truly stated something, that even in your grave, people will remember you. But how will you have lived that life? You will win that money, but won't be able to enjoy it. If you are infertile, who will enjoy that money? The state will just take the money and give it to the poor, maybe to the homeless, and you won't have gotten any benefit from it. So there's no use in using steroids in sports. Do you know that sport is the only neutral thing that is left whereby there is no bias? And everywhere around us we can see people using very dubious ways to get what they want. When it comes to the government, there's corruption. But when we come to sports, it is out of your own ability, and you can truly get the thrill of what it takes to have attained something from your own ability, and that is truly greatness.
We'll now hear closing statements from both teams. Proposers, you have 1 minute.
Come to think of it, not all types of shoes can be used to play football. Why? There are always special facilities and costumes that are meant for that game. So why then shouldn't we use these performance-enhancing drugs to perform our abilities in different sports? Life is like it's like gambling. So take the risk. Take the risk to get what you want. There's always going to be a loser and a winner. So why not win? Why not win while you take the lose? Thank you.
Opposition, you have 1 minute for your final statement.
I would like to pose a question on my colleague here. You say that when you came, the steroids give the athletes the psych and the motivation. And you said you also came here when you're psyched and motivated. Do you want to mean you're also on steroids? You give yourself the psych because you know you're prepared. You don't give yourself psych because you know that you're on steroids? Not at all. And what do you mean by being fair? We know that the average, for example, men, the average testosterone in the body is around 5.0, but some have lower and some have higher. And when you train hard, you get to increase the production of testosterone in the body. So you have 5, I have 4.45. You take the steroid, you will have higher. And I, for example, cannot afford the steroid. You will keep on beating me and beating me until the end of time. Why don't you give me a chance? I have the talent and I have practiced. So let's give this opposition the crown. Thank you.
Valentine, you start off well, good speaker. You make good use of an example, a foreign example, an American athlete, but you don't tell us, what sport he engages in. Not everybody knows Tyson Gray, so you needed to have told us that he's an American track and field sprinter. He could have been anybody, could have been a boxer, so you didn't tell us what sport. Yasmin, I think my challenge with you is that you are making statements with no attribution. When you say, that you cause infertility, according to who? So that for me was a challenge. McKenna, you are a good speaker, and I like the fact that you respond to the questions very well. But you're coming at the tail end of not very good presentations by your, predecessors, and so that then, challenges your presentation. Mikinduri girls, Brannis, you start off very well, and I commend you for, getting the attention of the audience. You made me laugh quite a bit. Good beginning, but at some point you say a wise saying, Pesa ni sabuni ya roho is a song, is not a saying. So I just thought that was quite hilarious. You use a very strong emotional appeal. You appeal to a sense of patriotism by telling us, wouldn't you want your country's flag being hoisted because you have won an award? Never mind how you win it or what you use, to get to that point. And so you were able to give your team a good start. However, the motion was really difficult, for you to be able to, to elucidate. Jackie, again, you come on to try and defend the motion, but it's a tough one. And so you're really struggling to scratch around for points that you can use to do that. And the same for Lena, in as much as the response to the questions were very good. I think for me what I lacked was there was no evidence of research from both sides.
At 63%, we have Gikumene girls tying with Mikinduri girls. Please give them a round of applause.
It's a wrap for today, and we'd like to thank the debaters on stage. And of course, on behalf of Safaricom M-Pesa and KBC, we'd like to thank you for tuning in. Follow us on Twitter at GreatDebatersEA. From us, it's goodbye till next time. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Nyambok. Thank you for watching.
Great Debaters Contest was brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.